Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So anyway, on the table you can see in front of you that I have a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield in the FDE color. Now, one of the things I have to tell you is I really like FDE, so whenever I find a gun in that color, I try to make it my mission in life to buy it if I can. I don't know what it is, I just really like FDE guns. Now, when I saw this online, it was a really good price, and it wound up being just slightly over $300, and because Smith & Wesson at the time was doing a $75 rebate, which I don't know if they still do, I think they are currently doing them, you'd have to check that yourself, but I felt like, man, you can't really beat that price. You're paying for a gun that's pretty good quality, has a good track record, and for the price plus the rebate, you just can't beat it. So this gun actually cost me well under 300 bucks. So for that price, guys, you really can't go wrong with that. Now, I'm not going to go through every specific detail since there's 1,000,001 videos on the internet right now about the Smith & Wesson Shield because they've been out for a while. What I'm going to do is going to kind of go through some things I like, some things I don't like, and just kind of give you an idea, an impression of what I feel about the gun. Now, obviously, if I buy a gun, I really do like them, and in this case, I absolutely do like the Shield quite a bit. I still think it's a great single stack carry gun, especially in the summer months when it's getting warmer. These are extremely easy to conceal. They don't weigh a heck of a lot, and they really do give you a good package for what you're getting. Now, in regards to some of the things that I do like, and by the way, the magazines are full, and you can see there's nothing in the chamber, and there's no magazine in there, so we are clear. There's a lot of things that you can say that are very good about the gun. First of all, one of the things I absolutely love about this handgun is the finish on the slide. It just is smooth, it's sleek, has a little bit of shine to it, but it's not overwhelmingly shiny. And I just think it looks really nice, guys. And that's one thing that I like. So the durability of it, I think, is excellent. And I have to say the quality of it, to me, is definitely one of the big factors that makes me attracted to this handgun. Now, some of the other things I do like the fact that you have a very nice snagless design for everything. You don't have ambi controls, so they're only on one side. So for you right-handed shooters, this is a great gun. For left-handed shooters, maybe not so much. However, for the controls, you have a very sleek design. Everything is very, very slimmed out. You can see that almost all the controls are flush right on the body, and I absolutely think that's a great, great deal. Some people concern themselves about the safety. Honestly, guys, I don't really think that's much of an issue. I don't carry the gun in safety at all. I always carry it off. I feel very comfortable that I'm not going to pull the trigger accidentally. Now, some people may disagree with that, but for me, the trigger it really serves no purpose. Now, of course, some of you who like to carry it with the trigger or with the safety, this is a great choice for you. All you got to do is activate the safety. When you're ready to go, deactivate the safety, and you're good to go. Now, one of the things I do like is the fact that even with this snagless design, you're really going to have a tough time really accidentally engaging the safety or disengaging the safety because it's so flush against the frame of the gun. Even the slide lock is very sleek. It's very slimlined, or streamlined, I should say. And of course, even the takedown lever, that's also very good as well. So overall, the features on it, they're basic, but at the same time, they're done in such a way that it makes it extremely concealable, extremely comfortable, and the idea of ever snagging on anything is next to impossible. So I think that's a great trio of features for it. The magazine release, again, even the mag release is pretty flush. You can see it has a little bit of an indent in here, but then it kind of protrudes a little bit. But it's not something that, again, you're going to activate accidentally. So I think, again, very well thought out, very good placement of all the features on here. In regards to some of the other features that I like, again, it's a good shooting gun. For the size of it, you really don't feel a lot of recoil. It's an easily controllable firearm, in my opinion. Some people might disagree. Some people with smaller hands might like it as much. Some people with bigger hands might not like it so much. But for me, I have to say, guys, that I've never had any issues with it. And I do find these very enjoyable to shoot, especially after going from a huge gun or a double action, single action type of firearm that's made out of metal. Then you go to something like this, and it is really a decent gun to shoot. Some of the things that I don't like about the firearm, well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the trigger. Now, the trigger isn't horrible, but it's not that great. Now, of course, I never really had any issues with any M&Ps that I owned except for the first full size that I owned. That thing was just horrible. But everything after that was always pretty good. Now, even on this Shield trigger, I know that the 45s have a very good trigger as well on it. However, this one isn't so bad. I mean, if you look at the trigger, there's not a heck of a lot of take-up on that trigger. Now, once you hit that wall, there's no additional play at all. All you have to do is give about a 6-pound pull, and the trigger, of course, sets off, and you're good to go. Now, of course, with the reset isn't the best. You know, it's not super tactile, not super loud, but you know, it is pretty crisp. It's pretty easy. I don't really concern myself with reset so much because in the self-defense situation, I'm sure no one's going to be sitting there saying, hey, did my trigger reset short or did it reset long? I don't think it really matters. So again, once it resets to about there, again, another nice 6-pound pull. So very even, very smooth, a little bit on the, I don't want to say gritty side, but just a little bit of grit still in the trigger. Now, of course, this doesn't have a tremendous amount of rounds through it. So over time, I'm pretty sure that stuff is going to, you know, wear down a little bit and actually, you know, get a little bit smoother. And if not, worst case scenario is you put an Apex trigger kit in here and you're good to go. Me personally, I just won't waste the money doing that because for me, the trigger is good enough. Again, it's as long as it doesn't fall out and as long as when I pull it, it works, I'm okay with that. And, you know, I feel that way strongly about it. Now, of course, sight-wise, it does come with metal sights. I've already, you know, removed the sights and put on some Ameriglows on here, as you can see. The iDot Pros, love them. Great sight picture, as you can see right there. Again, you got the orange ball in the front. And again, it shows up most of the time, at least when you're shooting, at least you can see it there. And I really do like the Ameriglow sights. It's very easy to pick up, you know, very simple. And I think for a defensive weapon like this, I think simple is good, especially in a high stress moment where all you do is look up, you see a big orange dot, point that dot right at somebody's chest, and you know, you go to business. Now, of course, is there anything else I don't like? Wish it didn't have the safety, but it's okay. Still got one in FDE. The only other thing I can tell you that, or two other things that I don't like too much about the gun, is that the slide is not that easy to rack. Now, you know, for me, I can do it. I don't have a problem. But somebody who's a little bit weaker, male or female, I think they're going to have a tough time trying to rack this slide because it is a pain in the rear end to do. Now, of course, you got to grab that gun pretty well, rack the slides back. The serrations on here for me, not that good. They're a little bit, I don't think they're too deep. I think they're pretty shallow. And from that aspect, I think that they could have done a little bit better digging into the slide. But, you know, that's just one person's opinion. Other than that, the only other gripe I would have with the handgun is the magazines. And, you know, the magazines are basic, nothing fancy, nothing terrible. But one of the things I never liked about this gun was when you put the magazine in, you know, I like to just be able to push it in and have it snap. Now, I have to put a considerable amount of pressure for it to snap in place. Now, hopefully over time, the springs will actually break in a little bit and that'll reduce the problem. But a lot of times if you got to get it in there, you got to really give it a good force or you got to smash it in there. And that's just one thing I don't like. I feel like in an emergency, you shouldn't have to worry about, you know, smashing the magazine in, making sure it's in, you know, able to go in battery and move around into the chamber. Like, I just don't like that idea. But again, one man's opinion, what can you do? Overall, solid gun. If you guys are looking for a great gun to carry in the summertime, if you're looking at for something for a really good deal and a good price, this would definitely be one to closely look at. In my opinion, it is still one of the premier single stack carry weapons on the market. So I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you like the video. If you do, thumbs up. Any comments, please leave them. I'll try to answer all that I can. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And as always, everybody, freedom is never free.